Welcome into another bonus question here on Hockey Inside Out. Jordan Harris, how important has he been so far for the Montreal Canadiens?
Incredibly important, not just in terms of, being the key to that second pairing and playing big minutes, playing physical. The fact that he's been able to step up in games where Caden Gooley has started to struggle a little bit. The last few games in particular, I found Gooley's been a little bit mistake prone with the puck. And as a consequence, Jordan Harris gets a lot more ice time. He is a stabilizing presence. It's funny watching compared to last year where he looked decent at times, but kind of was like panicked with the puck. This year, he's so calm and so confident. And even compared to preseason, it's like a switch flipped for him from preseason to this season where he figured it out. He knows how to play NHL hockey now, and I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's a keystone for this team going forward.
There's another 22-year-old young defenseman that has stepped in there with such great poise and has handled a lot of different situations at such an early stage of his career. And, if you watch him closely, obviously with his great ability to skate, which brings a nice dimension of him being able to carry that puck out of the defensive zone and contribute in any of the offensive rushes. But he doesn't make too many mistakes. I mean, you see him under pressure or whatever. He keeps things simple, and he plays each and every night up to his capability. And that's really nice to see a kid like that be able to handle all of these different situations and handle it well. So nothing but upside, nothing but better and bigger things to come from a young defenseman.
Yeah, what a find in the third round of the draft. I remember 2018, it was Jordan's first development camp in Brossard, and I was watching this guy skate around the ice. I didn't really know much about him. I knew he had played high school hockey in the Boston area from having covered the draft, and he was just flying around the ice and moving the puck, and just a beautiful, beautiful skater. And I wrote a column at the time. The headline was Canadiens prospect Jordan Harris worth keeping an eye on. And since then, I sort of followed him and kept an eye on how he was doing and how he progressed. And he's a perfect example of how there's nothing wrong with a kid spending 4 years in university. In fact, it can be a very, very good thing. He decided to go back to Northeastern. He was captain of the team last year. He wanted to get his degree. He did get his degree. He's a really smart kid. Rob Ramage, the Canadiens development guy, said at a training camp this year, if Jordan Harris wanted to be president of the United States, he probably could be. And when you're around the kid, you realize that he's just so smart, so intelligent on and off the ice, just a really nice, polite, really good kid. And it's nice to see him the way he has been brought along and developed. Wasn't rushed, did his 4 years in university, got called up. And the biggest thing, there's a lot of things, I've mentioned this before, I like about Marty St. Louis as a coach. One of the things I really like is when Jordan Harris got called up last season after his university career ended, Marty St. Louis told him, you're going to make 3 or 4 mistakes every game. Don't worry about them. Forget about them. You're going to learn from them. We're going to teach you. And Jordan Harris told me at the time, like, that was just such a weight off his shoulders. He came in, it was like, just play your game. You're going to make mistakes. Don't worry about them. Then we'll fix them. And that's the way St. Louis has been with all these young players. He says, don't correct mistakes. I correct patterns. So if you keep making the same mistake over and over and over, they're going to have a discussion with you. But he wants players to take risks. And you watch now, not just Jordan Harris, but how much the defense pinch in the offensive zone to keep the puck in the offensive zone, whereas they used to always be backing up as soon as the play was coming out. They were playing the game in St. Louis. They had a 2-goal lead in the third period. The defense were still pinching in offensively. They weren't sitting back protecting the lead. They were skating. That's Jordan Harris's game. That's the way he plays. That's the way Caden Gooley likes to play. So Jordan Harris, I think it's really impressed me this year too. He's become much more physical. He's developed more. And that's another thing with the university program where they're not playing as many games. They have more time to go to the gym, more time to sleep well, more time to eat well. He's filled out. He's become a man. And we see that, this physicality on the ice. But boy, there's so much to like about Jordan Harris. It's easy to forget he's only 22 years old. I always knew he could skate and move the puck going back to that development camp. But the physical presence he is, the IQ, the way he is able to read the game. He's a really smart kid off the ice, and he's a really smart hockey player on the ice too.
Well, when you look at it right now, gentlemen, for Jordan Harris here, the potential's there. If we look at a point production value for Jordan Harris, I know half fans love to overrate things in this town. They're dying for someone to come in here to be a superstar. What do you think at his apex of his powers will be his highest value for points per season type of scenario for him?
I think what you're looking for with Jordan Harris is not necessarily point production, because he's, to me, a very modern NHL defenseman in that he's not a guy who makes the play that creates the goal. He's a facilitator who pushes the puck into the right spots for his forwards to make the play. So you'll probably see him around like a 25 to 35 point defenseman through his peak years, because he's not going to get a ton of power play time. Think more like early Jeff Petrie in terms of point production before he really took off with the Canadiens in the latter stage of his time here, and less of like the gaudy point totals. I think it's more about the transition game for Jordan Harris than it is about the gaudy point totals.
Yeah, I agree with you, Andrew. It's his ability to skate the puck out of his own zone. It's his ability in those tough situations who can skate the puck, get it over the red line, and dump it in for a line change. Just the ability to move the puck, get it out of his zone, and get it up to the guys who are going to get the points. Get it up to Suzuki and Caulfield and those guys who are going to go the other way with it. He's smart with the puck. He makes decisions on the ice.
And unlike back in our day when we were coaching some young D, we were kind of restricting their play and holding them back. And if they made mistakes, we were basically instructed, cut his minutes back. Now there's no longer that mindset, and I think it's nothing but a positive move from the organization saying, you know what, let these kids play, let them make mistakes. They're going to go back out. They're going to learn from them, and they're much more relaxed. And obviously it's working well because these kids are progressing at a very fast rate and doing a lot of good things to become very, very good NHL defensemen.
Yeah, it's not just hard off the glass and get it out anymore, right, Rick? It's skate it out and not give.
I'm sorry, Stu?
It's not just hard off the glass and get it out anymore. It's skate the puck out and don't give it back to the other team.
Yeah, and you're allowed to go past the red line.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
There's no parking brake on the development of Gooley and Jordan Harris in particular. That'll do it for this bonus episode here on Hockey Inside Out. Send us your comments and questions we'll talk about for a future episode. Don't forget to like the YouTube page on Hockey Inside Out and subscribe to that. And subscribe to the newsletter, MontrealGazette.com/newsletters. And for full episodes and bonus content, check out Hockey Inside Out. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.